Welcome to Storytellers with a Message. This is where I share real stories about real people. I'm Lori Grant, and I'm committed to capturing the moments and lessons that shape our lives. Together, we'll explore stories that teach, inspire, and remind us that everyone has a story worth telling. It seems every scuba dive has a story to tell, and this one is no different. Our dives the day before had been canceled due to high winds, a small craft advisory, and rough ocean surface conditions. We optimistically thought the next day would be better. It wasn't. The dives weren't canceled, but they probably should have been. The swells were 4 to 5 feet, with an occasional overachieving 6. There were only 5 of us aboard the Easy Diver. There was Melinda and me, a middle-aged solo adventurer named Elwin, our dive master Alex, and our boat captain Jesus. And yes, Jesus was pronounced exactly like the biblical version. When we signed up with the dive shop weeks earlier, we thought it was a good sign. In hindsight, maybe it was more of a warning. As we headed toward the outer reef of Key West, the swells made themselves known. The boat tipped back and forth, up and down, making it nearly impossible to get our gear on. When Alex said to always keep 3 points of contact with the boat, he wasn't kidding. Poor Elwin. He stood up for 1 second to pull on his wetsuit and immediately found himself on his knees on the opposite side of the deck. Jesus finally stopped the boat, and we all scrambled to our tanks. Just sitting there on the bench as I strapped myself into 50-some pounds of gear made my stomach churn. I remember thinking, what are we doing? Is this actually a good idea? But Alex went in first, I followed, then Melinda, and then Elwin. We started our descent together. I took a couple extra minutes because my ears were being dramatic and not clearing very quickly, but eventually my feet landed on the sandy bottom. 40 feet down, ears clear, and pain-free. We exchanged the all good sign and began our dive. Melinda, my wonderful friend and the best dive buddy anyone could ever ask for, she's highly experienced with countless dives under her belt. This was only dive number 10 or so for me. So I stayed very close to her, like very close. Alex headed toward the reef. Melinda followed him, I followed Melinda, and Elwin followed me. And then in no more than 2 kicks of our fins, Elwin slapped my shoulder, pointed to his mask, and bolted for the surface. I turned, tapped Melinda, and pointed to Elwin, now halfway to the top. She looked at me and put her arms out like, what the heck? Just as Elwin took off, Alex followed him, leaving Melinda and I alone, 40 feet underwater without a dive guide. The rule in diving is simple. If you get separated, you stay put for 1 minute. What keeps a diver safe is knowing the rules and following them. Melinda held up 1 finger. 1 minute. I nodded. We had no idea what had just happened, but we knew the best thing was to wait and see if they came back down. Maybe Alex would return and call off the dive. It was pretty rough down there, even 40 feet below the surface. Or maybe they'd rejoin us. We didn't know. If we didn't see Alex after about a minute or so, we'd slowly make our way back to the very, very choppy surface. Knowing the rule was comforting, but was also unnerving. That minute or so at the bottom of the ocean was the longest minute ever. The surge underwater was really strong and the visibility was horrible. So Melinda started tapping her tank with her dive stick, hoping it would help Alex locate us. But looking around, there was nothing to see. Just brown, sandy ocean floor and brown, hazy, gray water with brown sand blowing all around us in every direction. As we stood there holding our ground, I was reminded how easily we could get lost. We wouldn't have to move far. Those minutes at the bottom of the ocean were also a perfect reflection of how easy it is to lose our way in the world above the water. There are dangers all around us. Sometimes they're obvious, but sometimes they're lurking just beyond our visibility. I suppose there can be sharks above the water and sharks below the water, if you think about it. We had plenty of time to analyze what was happening. We weren't in any apparent danger. We weren't out of air, and we weren't lost. We were simply uncomfortable. And uncomfortable is not the same as unsafe. As Melinda and I stood there on the bottom of the ocean, doing absolutely nothing, everything in me wanted to do something. Swim, chase, fix, escape, anything. Because when life gets murky, movement feels like control. But sometimes the bravest thing we can do is absolutely nothing. So we stood firm. We thought it through and we had a plan B. We stayed exactly where Alex left us. And because of that, he found us really easily, swimming straight toward us through the gray, murky water. Had we drifted even a little, he might not have been able to. So here's my message. Staying calm, thinking it through, trusting the rules that were put in place to protect you, not restrict you. That's called wisdom. When life gets choppy and visibility drops, your instinct will be to react. But sometimes the safest, wisest, most courageous thing you can do is stay put. Trust the guidance that was created to keep you safe. Stand firm in what you know is true, and let the help that's meant to find you right where you are. Elwin was fine, by the way, just a mask issue and a moment of panic. It happens, but his panic didn't have to become ours. This has been Storytellers with a Message. If you enjoyed the show, please hit the subscribe button and leave a review on your favorite podcast app. It truly helps others find the podcast. And if you have a story to tell, I love to hear from you. You can email me at storytellerswithamessage@gmail.com. To explore my children's books or learn more about my work, visit www.loriDgrant.com. Until next time, I'm Lori, wishing you joy and peace.